what's crazy? People are always in my fucking business, worried about what I'm doing, what Floyd is doing, what Floyd ain't doing, what I do got, what I don't got. Just know, I'm gonna stay in my lane. I ain't gonna fuck with nobody, and I don't want nobody fucking with me. If I go on vacation, my fault.
You come home, I'm gonna put you in a better position. Either for you to go Rick Ross, that's a slap in the face.
Oh my God! Y'all won't believe what's happening. Floyd Mayweather just went off on Charleston White. He straight up fired warning shots, telling Charleston to back the hell up from this whole Big Meech situation or face some serious consequences. But you know Charleston, that man does not fold easily. He made it crystal clear he isn't about to be silenced for speaking his truth, period. Ever since Charleston got out of jail, he's been running his mouth in interviews left and right. In one of them, he spilled all the tea about the Big Meech and 50 Cent drama. Now, Charleston died admit there's no solid proof that Big Meech actually snitched, but he also said 50 had every right to spaz out since Big Meech and his son played him dirty by linking up with his enemies, and one of those so-called enemies, none other than Floyd Mayweather himself. Floyd is absolutely fuming about what Charleston had to say, and he's already made it crystal clear. If he catches Charleston in the streets, it is over. But wait, is Floyd genuinely trying to help Big Meech and his family bounce back? Or is he just stirring the pot to get under 50 Cent's skin? Stay locked in because we're about to break down all the juicy details.
Let this be a perfect example on you gotta be very careful on who you bring in and who you put on. That's Little Meech right there. And if you don't know, he's the son of Big Meech. And if you don't know who that is, well, Big Meech was one of the biggest drug dealers in Detroit, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, long story short, he went in jail. He came out of jail and he started linking up with 50 Cent's ops. Now, bear in mind, 50 Cent made BMF and put Little Meech on BMF without any acting skills.
Y'all, this Big Meech drama is spiraling completely out of control and dragging everybody down with it. The latest victims caught in this messy crossfire, Floyd Mayweather and Charleston White, and trust me, it's getting ugly. In a brand new interview, Charleston decided to throw his 2 cents into the ongoing beef between Big Meech, Lil Meech, and 50 Cent. And he dropped some absolute bombshells. First off, he straight up admitted he doesn't really buy into 50 Cent's claims that Big Meech is a snitch because he hasn't seen any official paperwork to back it up. Then he went all the way in on people spreading those nasty rumors that Big Meech used Tammy Cowan to set up Cuffy and the others, saying people need to do their damn homework before running with such serious allegations.
When you do your research, you find out that there's no paperwork on Big Meech. So if you go do your research, you find out that there's no paperwork on Big Meech. That's why you hadn't seen no paperwork. It's all hearsay. Somebody saying he told, or somebody saying he used Tammy Cowan's to set up Cuffy. Well, when you do your research and you look at the court documents that's on Big Meech, you see that Tammy Cowans took the stand and said that she did this on her own accord without Big Meech's knowledge.
Then Charleston really turned up the heat by taking 50 Cent's side and putting Big Meech and Lil Meech on blast. He straight up said he didn't blame 51-Bit for snapping the way he did because when nobody else, including Rick Ross, was supporting Big Meech, 50 was the only one holding it down. He got Lil Meech cleaned up, sent him to acting school on his own dime, and then put him in a hit series that had millions flowing into his pockets while Big Meech was locked up. 50 basically played daddy for Lil Meech, and according to Charleston, anyone would be absolutely livid if they did all that for someone only for them to turn around and link up with their worst enemy.
I'm looking at it from 50 position. I go get your son. And at the time when I meet your son, he's not making the best decisions in life. You know, they say he was strung out on them perks. And he like to pop them perks. 50 take him somewhat, I wouldn't say clean him up, but spend 2 years in acting classes that 50 paid for. It was hard finding somebody to play the role of Big Meech, so we picked your son. 50, according to 50, he's put over $5 million into the pockets of Lil Meech and the family's, you know, financial, over $5 million. He's helped them make. It blew your son up, and we bring you back to life. Prior to the BMF series, Big Meech was buried alive. Wasn't nobody saying his name. Jeezy wasn't really shouting him out no more. He was buried alive. So 50 bring life back to him, put his son in a position, turn his son into a millionaire, and he actually turned out to be a pretty good actor. You come home, I'm gonna put you in a better position. For you to go fuck Rick Ross, that's a slap in the face.
He called Big Meech messing with Rick Ross a straight-up betrayal, saying he and his son deserve whatever 50 throws their way as payback. Now, if y'all remember, all this drama kicked off when Big Meech linked up with Rick Ross to secure some cash after getting out of jail. And let's be real, none of this would have happened if Lil Meech hadn't fumbled all that money 50 put in his pockets while they were working together. So when 50 found out Big Meech had gone behind his back to team up with Rick Ross, he felt completely played, and that's when he started calling Big Meech a snitch. Lil Meech tried to check 50 in the DMs, explaining that his pops did what he had to do because he needed the money. He was basically trying to smooth things over and get back in 50's good graces. But 50 wasn't having any of it. Instead, he hit him where it hurt by announcing he was pulling the plug on the BMF series.
I was like, damn, you know, like, seemed like him and 50 got a, you know, because after that thing came out, how Meech was talking all, you know, like, no, all y'all, I'm with my dead nigga, but you know, I ain't like his response, you know, but it seemed like he got a genuine love for 50 Cent or him, and from when I was reading it, like he seemed like he caught in the middle, but you know. Like
Yeah.
he caught in the middle. That's what it seemed like from me reading it, but I'd have been like, you.
Right, because it's your father.
My daddy.
Cutting off Lil Meech's entire cash flow. That whole situation had people split because while some thought Lil Meech was right to try patching things up, others felt like he should have stood 10 toes down and checked 50 for coming at his pop sideways. And baby, Boozy had a whole lot to say about it. But let's keep it 100. 50 cutting Lil Meech off is going to hit his pockets hard because 50 was the one who put him on in the first place. You would think Big Meech and Lil Meech would at least try to sit down and talk things out with 50 to keep the show going, but nah, they went the petty route instead. Instead of making peace, they doubled down by getting even closer to 50's enemies, especially Lil Meech, who was spotted kicking it with Floyd Mayweather on multiple occasions.
What about you and Rick Ross?
That is desperation at the points that you hear things from him at this point. You know, because if you're looking for someone, it ain't that hard to find me. You know, I'm around. And I'm not used to having an altercation with law enforcement. I'm just not used to saying I'm gonna do something to a correctional officer or to a police officer or anyone who's been under oath that's gonna say with no problem everything that you've said and everything that's happened immediately after, like, you know this.
Both Big Meech and Lil Meech have been flooding social media with pics of them chilling with Floyd and Rick Ross these past few weeks. Lil Meech even dropped a whole set of photos from a night out at Lucky Strike Bowling Alley in Miami with both men, captioning it "Real Power," which, let's be honest, felt like a straight-up shot at 50. Then in another post, he shared pics of him, his pops, and Floyd at some low-key spot. More recently, he posted a video of him and Floyd sitting courtside at a Lakers game, living it up. With all this drama with 50 Cent, ain't nobody buying the idea that this wasn't intentional. You already know 50 and Rick Ross have been sworn enemies for years now.
I took a picture with Rick Ross. You like a hoe. Put your back against the wall and just slide down. You already know, car show going down June 7th. Get online right now, get your tickets right now. But for the hustlers, I want y'all to understand you gotta stop making business personal. Get your money. You don't know these don't know you. And for anybody going against Ricky Rose, let me have this. I've been putting my foot up you since for the last 15 years. Everything you touch crumble. Why you think Rose on top? We don't take this shit personal.
Their beef kicked off when Ross swore 50 gave him a dirty look on stage during a performance, and from that moment, it was war. They've been trading shots in songs, interviews, and wherever else they can. 50 never lets up on Ross, constantly clowning him for his past as Officer Ricky. He stays calling Ross out for faking the gangster life while secretly being a CEO at heart. Back in 2015, during an interview with Tim Westwood, 50 straight up called Ross a fraud. And in another interview, 50 doubled down and straight up called Rick Ross irrelevant, saying he don't respect his career at all.
As he was actually going in to jail, he asked me to help him with Mayweather promotion.
Right.
Then as he actually got in and I took a look, I realized there is no Mayweather promotions. There's no LLC, there's no seal, it's not incorporated. It's just
the name.
Yeah,
that
it's
comes
just
out
the name.
people's mouths.
Right. See, technically, Floyd is a Golden Boy fighter. You see what I'm saying? He fights on every Golden Boy card. They do all the footwork on
like
every
the
show.
negotiations and the imprint, the paperwork.
They built the whole show. So when he says helping with Mayweather promotions and it's not there, I go, okay, I know what he means. He wants me to
get it together.
Put it together for him. So I do TNT promotions. I get it all the way together. Sign the actual fighters. We had acquisition of Gamboa. It's like I had to negotiate a release. It was 1.2 million. Andre Durrell. IBF champion Billy Dip, WBA champion Celestino Calabero, so we brought them over. I brought them over while Floyd was incarcerated.
Yeah.
When he comes home, there's the Let's Get Floyd Back in Pocket campaign that goes on, where it's $300,000 chains being bought, buying new Lamborghini and all these new things, and I'm sitting there going, yo, when you gonna give me the money?
Because you'd already invested.
Right, like when you gonna give me your half of the money back. But I ain't trying to press him because he just got out of jail.
Right.
So it's like, let him cool his heels before you.
Was that in the millions?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you sitting there big and I'm like, yo, so when, but see the fighters are an asset in themselves. They are that talent regardless. Right. So I'm looking at him going, so there ain't no pressure there, but I'm saying, when is he gonna say he wants to, to give me the other half of it? Well, I gotta ask you for it.
Right.
And then
are we talking over $2 million?
It's about that.
Oh, okay.
At that point, it was, invested in.
All right.
So look, he goes, when he does bring up the actual the situation, he acted like he didn't know anything. Like, I didn't tell y'all to do that. I didn't tell you to do that.
Oh, man.
And I'm looking at him and he looked in my face and he tell me to do that.
And trust me, the feeling is mutual because Rick Ross has been saying for years that 50 ain't nothing but a big old crybaby. You can kind of see where all this mess is coming from with Rick Ross. But with Floyd Mayweather, now that's the real shocker. Because once upon a time, him and 50 were tight like brothers. Now they can't stand each other. And let's be real, Floyd and 50's beef has got to be one of the messiest dramas 50's ever never been caught up in, which says a lot because we all know 50 don't play when it comes to feuds. Back in the day, these two were inseparable, popping out everywhere together. They even graced the cover of XXL like they was ride or die for each other. But all that changed in 2012 when Floyd got locked up on that DV charge.
Something to think about the next time you're on stage waving signs, trying to be like the only daddy you got. I understand you want to keep his name alive, but youngin', I'm trying to save you from your demise. You said it yourself. My pops was a real... Youngin', that ain't no lie. He was in the business that the system perpetuates on the side to keep us in the condition where we ain't made to survive. But you think he a god? Well, let me ask you this. Would you kill a world and save yourself? And I ain't think that was wise. Something to think about the next time y'all thugging, drinking and drugging, hard liquor y'all full of killers. Remember, hold up, I tried to give you the large picture. Hold up, man. He gonna get this work. He gonna get this work. Hold up. Keep going, keep going. Hold on, B. He gonna get this work. I tried to give him the large picture. Yo, Pops wasn't no gangster.
While he was sitting in jail, 50 stepped up trying to hold it down by managing Floyd's businesses, TMT, the Money Team, and Mayweather Promotions, because Floyd asked him to. But what 50 wasn't expecting was just how messy them businesses was. Turns out nothing was even registered, so 50 had to start everything from scratch. He put a whole $1 million of his own money into fixing Floyd's mess, only for Floyd to switch up when he got out of jail. Instead of matching 50's investment or paying him back, Floyd flipped the script, started accusing him of trying to take over his company. While Floyd was out here spreading lies, 50 and some others were trying to do a whole "let's get Floyd back in pocket" campaign.
Meech's biggest mistake was getting on camera with Rick Ross, running to the internet. Rick Ross was wrong for putting Big Meech out there knowing he doing bidding with 50. Rick Ross using Meech. Rick Ross using him, homie, knowing that there's a beef between me and this guy. So to do this video and then put it out there was a slap in the face to 50. And I done put everybody in position. Now, I'm with 50. While you were gone, Rick Ross didn't reach out to your son. Try to put him in his position where he can make $5 million. Did nobody reach out to you? Rick Ross didn't give you no money off using your name, your likeness or whatever in that song. He didn't give you no kickbacks for that. So, if he really fucking with you, he could have put the concert on without putting you in the mix. But they playing tit for tat. So 50 ain't wrong.
Kinda like that fundraiser Rick Ross wanted to throw for Big Meech. Now y'all already know 50 don't play about loyalty, so he wasn't about to let Floyd get away with spinning these fake stories about him. But when 50 finally clapped back, he ended up looking like the villain. Floyd kept pushing his narrative, calling 50 a male boxing groupie with a flop music career. At first, they told the media they patched things up, claiming they were back cool, but that was a lie because their relationship only got worse. The petty reached new heights. Floyd started clowning 50 over his rocky relationship with his son, Marquise, while 50 put Floyd on full blast for creeping with his own best friend's woman. At one point, 50 even went so far as to accuse Floyd of being tied up in the tragic situation with Earl Hayes and his wife, Jessica. 50 straight up said, "Tell everybody why you were on FaceTime when he took out Jessica and himself because he was pressing you about messing with his wife." 50 went after Lil Meech's acting skills too, throwing major shade by comparing him to Michael Rainey Jr., the star of Power Book 2, Ghost. Michael had just won an NAACP award, and 50 used that moment to rub it all in. Then to top it off, he dropped an AI-edited video putting Lil Meech on blast, making it seem like he was saying 50 tried to show him the good life, but he was too busy trying to follow in his daddy's footsteps. It's a little wild how 50 is coming for Lil Meech so hard, especially when Meech ain't got nothing to do with his daddy's alleged snitching. But 50 finally aired out his side of the story after Boosie called him out for taking his frustrations out on the son instead of the father. 50 said, "I did more for Meech than anybody in his life, Boosie." That's why he responded like that. If he get locked up, I'm the first person he called, bailed him out every time. But when I saw him laughing at his pop's post, oh, he is a snake too. He belongs with him. Then in another post, 50 laid it all out, talking about how he got Lil Meech into rehab and even schooled him on how to manage his money. 50 said, "I thought about it. I think he was uncomfortable with me and his mama's relationship. I told his mama I don't want him doing drugs. He told him he used to do X like it was cool. I told her chill on spending all your money. He told him how much money he blew. People don't even know I had to send Meech to rehab." Russell Hornsby peeped he was high as hell on set, throwing up at a weapons test. Then Ian told me the Lil Ninja had whippets in his truck. I was like, what the hell is whippets? I looked it up. It's the same stuff DMX and Biz Markie died from. Now, when someone has done that much for you and your family, the least you can do is not embarrass them by linking up with their biggest enemies and posting the pics all over social media. And this is exactly why Charleston White said Big Meech's biggest mistake was posting that clip of him and Rick Ross and then doubling down with a video denying the snitch allegations. Even if there was a chance for 50 to move past all this Rick Ross drama and just focus on his BMF series, Lil Meech and his daddy completely killed that possibility when they decided to pop out with Floyd Mayweather. Now, as for Floyd, oh, he knows exactly what's going on between Big Meech and 50. He ain't fooling nobody. He's definitely using father and son as pawns in his beef with 50, and he's so dead set on getting back at 50, he doesn't care who gets caught in the crossfire, including Charleston White. Word on the street is Floyd's out here pulling strings behind the scenes, trying to get Charleston arrested and sent right back to jail. If true, that's some wild level of petty. But what y'all think? Y'all believe Floyd is really gonna come through for Big Meech and his son? Or is this all just a big ploy to really get under 50's skin? Drop your thoughts in the comments and stay locked in for more videos like this.